We talked with Georgina Kusum, the remarkable Ghanaian lady, who is responsible for getting the villages in North Ghana to work together as a cooperative. It is this cooperative which now produces over 20 tonnes of organic shea butter every 6 weeks, which is used in a number of Green People products. She told us about her journey and her inspirations.
We start with the collection of the nuts. And the collection of the nuts, you don't have to take it from the tree. You have to collect it on the ground. And then after that, it goes through cracking of the nuts. Then you parboil it and crack it and allow it to dry for some time. After that, it goes through cracking in the machine. Then from there, you roast it. After roasting, you mill it again. After milling, it has to go through kneading with water, only water, to introduce air in the butter, the milled paste. And then after that, you scoop the paste and put it in a bowl and boil it for some time to separate the water from the oil. And then you separate it and put it in a bowl for it to cool down.
And that sounds like a really short space of time.
Exactly.
But it's not, is it?
Yes.
It's not. So there's some very lengthy periods where it takes how long to actually grow a shea nut tree? How many years?
From the agriculture point of view, they said it takes 25 years.
25 years.
So most of the trees here were just came on its own. And most of the time when they are doing the collection, they leave something like 30 to 10% on the ground so that it will grow again, because you cannot plant it. Then it will continue for the next generation. If not, it will get to a point and there is no shea nut tree.
Very important.
Yes.
And what makes the shea nut organic? Why is it different? What have you done differently to produce it as an organic shea butter?
The organic shea butter, it goes through a lot of process. It's not just going to buy the nut and processing it, but you have to trace it from the field to the processing to the last end. So if somebody comes looking for the organic shea butter, the person has to be able to trace through the product, the whole process. And at the end of the day, we have to know the one who processed it. In case of any problem, we can trace it and take that block out of the lot from the total production. And the women has to be trained to conform to the quality and also to the EU standards.
And is organic is very special because it has no contamination from pesticides or chemicals. How would the chemicals and pesticides get onto the non-organic trees if elsewhere they were being produced?
The non-organic shea nuts you can just collect anywhere, but for the organic, even you cannot collect along the roadside because of pollution. So they have a space like 100 meters or 200 meters. They don't have to collect from that space. They don't have to collect in where they live,
right,
because it can be contaminated.
Yes.
And they have to collect from where it's not contaminated, where they don't have any plantation under it. And if they've even planted something, they have to see to it that it's not, they don't apply any chemicals to it.
Yes.
So it's important.
So in non-organic production, there could be plants underneath the trees that are being sprayed that would contaminate the nuts. Yes.
Exactly.
And how long does the process take from start to finish to produce the shea butter?
For the drying of the nut, it depends on the weather, because if you don't have good weather, you don't get good quality. So they have to dry it well. And to get a good butter, it starts from the collection, the drying of the nut. So it depends on the weather. If the weather is good, it will take something like, the drying will take about 1 or 2 days. Then for the processing, also when it gets to the roasting, it depends on the weather and also, so maybe within 6 hours, they should be able to process 1 bag.
And that kneading is very hard work, isn't it? So we've seen the pictures of we've seen the women themselves doing the kneading of the butter, and it's exceptionally hard work. And they're very fit, aren't they? They're very healthy. What do they eat here? How are they feeding themselves? Are they being trained to produce their own food as well, to combine with producing the shea butter?
Yes, because if they don't have food, they cannot work.
No.
So during the major season in their area, they have to produce their own crops.
Right.
And the other thing is also, if they think they process shea butter and they will make more money, they will prefer to process their butter and get laborers on their farm to farm for them and pay them and process the butter and make money. But normally around this time, they are on the farm trying to produce their own food.
Yes.
So,
And that's organic food.
Exactly.
So they're doing good for the environment and their health.
Exactly.
How lovely.
Exactly. And it's not only producing the butter, we also train them on business, managing.
Good.
And I think it's important for them to know that it's a business and they have to manage it well.
Yes.
And to be sustainable, manage what they have well, and to reinvest what they get.
Great. And how much? I worry that it's quite expensive to produce this butter. Where are the areas that cost the most? What are the things that you have to spend money on to produce the butter?
Apart from collecting of the nuts and processing it, sometimes it depends on the market value. If a lot of people can buy in the nuts, they don't mind if it's organic, they can sell it to. They sell the nuts. But I don't encourage them selling the nuts because it will not help them.
Right.
Yes,
right.
It will not help them. The other thing is the packaging, the processing of now diesel and electricity is going up.
Yes.
And we are paying about 200% of utility bills. So now it's going to affect, and it affects the chain. The packaging material is affected. You have to buy it twice the amount.
Yes.
You have to pay for certification fees. You have to pay for communication.
Yes.
You have to transport the packaging material to and also transport it back, and it all costs money.
It's a long way. Transport takes a long time, doesn't it? So we travelled almost 14 hours. And that's the packaging trip and the product trip that goes, which
so
is
it's not only the raw butter, it goes beyond the raw butter because there are a lot of costs involved.
Yes.
And if the utility bills are going up, it affects everything, and you have no control over it. Yes.
No. So it would be good to be looking at how you could be more sustainable.
Exactly.
And you could create some of your own energy.
Exactly. That is what I think it will help us a lot, since we have a lot of sand here.
Yes.
And it can go up to 40 degrees, so we can create our own energy. Yes. And that will be a major breakthrough for us.
With it.
So it will reduce the cost a little bit.